College football just around the corner, and earlier we previewed LSU for the 2025 season. Now it is Ole Miss's time. The biggest thing down in the SIP, no more Jaxson Dart. For the first time in 3 years, the program's all-time leading passer will not be lining up now in the NFL. Instead, that honor turns to redshirt sophomore Austin Simmons. But in this day and age, of course, it is not just the quarterback that will be a new starter. There are plenty of new starters when it comes to this Rebels team. 8 starters went into the NFL draft, but they have plenty of positions and plenty of position rooms that need to be replaced. So let's welcome in Tyler Komis and Patterson here to give us an eye and an idea, about what we can expect with Ole Miss. Let's start with Austin Simmons replacing Jaxson Dart here. Tyler, we saw flashes of him last season, helped with that upset win against Georgia. What do we need to know, though, Tyler, now that he is officially in the spotlight?
Yeah, this job is his. There's usually a quarterback competition every year under Lane Kiffin, except, Jaxson Dart going into his third year, but no competition despite Ole Miss adding some transfer guys, and he understands that. Really mature 19-year-old, just got his undergraduate degree from Ole Miss. He's going to be entering his third year now at the school, and a really poised kid that, we saw it in the Georgia game where he led a 10-play, 75-yard touchdown drive, just always a guy that stays ready.
Yeah, I think about Austin Simmons in the beginning of his time with Ole Miss, which is wondering if he's even going to play college football. A Major League Baseball draft pick, someone who's incredibly gifted athletically, and to now see, as we're hearing, about the focus that he's been able to apply. He's had a pro mindset since he's shown up. I like the fact that he didn't transfer out, even though he was behind Jaxson Dart. He has waited. He has been in the program to step into the limelight. And I will admit that coming out of last season, my bar was actually a little bit low, but everything coming out of spring practice, everything from off-season workouts, just a glowing report on what Austin Simmons can be. I've found myself in the last maybe 5 or 6 weeks elevating my expectations for Ole Miss, with elevating my expectations so that the quarterback will not see a drop-off in a significant way from Jaxson Dart to Austin Simmons.
You say that now, Chip Patterson, but we're going to get to your prediction here in a second, and I'm not sure if these Rebel fans are going to be all too pleased with you. Let's talk about, look, when we come to college football, it's like you have to relearn an entire team now with all of the transfers and everything. And this wide receiver room, it does have some star transfers in there. But Tyler, I have read the word formidable to describe these wide receivers. Could they potentially be flying under the radar as a very good room in the SEC?
Absolutely. I think it's one of the best. They added 5 transfers through the transfer wide receivers through the portal. All 5 of them ranked within 24/7 Sports' top 50 at the position.
I think we lost Tyler. Chip, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Do you know much about these wide receivers? What do we need to know?
I do, yeah. Deshaun Stribling was a very good player at Oklahoma State. Harrison Wallace, of course, coming over from Penn State. Caleb Odom is an interesting one that you see right there. 6'5", big body, was recruited to Alabama, but never really saw time on the field. And this is just a massive, massive piece of whether Ole Miss can be successful, because Trey Harris was just such a reliable target for Jaxson Dart that when that passing attack was stumbling just a little bit, it could always be Trey Harris that could go up and get it. He finished with like 60 catches, over 1,000 yards, and between him and Jordan Watkins being gone from Ole Miss's offense, that is when you're losing about 1/3 of your catches, about 1/3 of your receiving yards. And so there are a lot of catches and yards to go around for all these new players. It does not surprise me one bit that Ole Miss went to go and add 5 players out of the portal at wide receiver. Number one, because it's a need, and number two, because that's what you can sell, that you're going to step right into this offense, and we are going to rely on you to go out there and make highlight reel plays. So it was a position of need based on the seniors that they lost and the production that they had. And so now it will be time. Does Harrison Wallace play better than he did at Penn State? I think Stribling was a very good player at Oklahoma State. Does Caleb Odom live up to that high billing he had coming out of high school? A lot of opportunity, I think, is the big word that we've got there in Oxford at wide receiver.
So 5 transfers in that wide receiver room. This is also a new-look defense. Look, this Ole Miss defense was incredible last season. It was the #2 scoring defense in the country, arguably one of the best defensive lines. And Tyler, mistake me if I'm wrong, I think they have like 1 returning starter. What is this defense for Ole Miss going to look like? Could they potentially live up to last season's?
Yeah, it's going to be really, really hard for them to live up to what they had last year, just both on the defensive line and kind of secondary. It's a whole new look back there, up front and in the back. But there is some promise again with TJ Daugherty, the quarterback of the defense, returning. He was the main communicator from what Pete Golding wanted to do. He moved up to the box ever since the radio came into the helmets. And then you return a five-star talent in Suntarine Perkins, a guy who's looking to go to the NFL draft after this year. He's gone on record in saying that. And if he can build off a 10.5 sack season that he had as a true sophomore, he's a very versatile piece for this defense. He's listed as a linebacker, but comes off the edge as well and could set up others on that new look defensive line that features Deshaun Womack, Xavier Harris, and Princewell Uman Millen as well.
Let's go to the college football playoff here. Ole Miss is now coming off 3 10-win seasons. They have not made the playoff. Chip, what do they need to do in order to break through, especially Lane Kiffin? I mean, look, he's a great recruiter. Let's give him that because his social media is insane. But to get to the college football playoff, what do they need to do?
I saw some one step forward, one step back last year, and here's what I mean. Number one, they finally beat one of the big dogs when they beat Georgia, because the book on this Lane Kiffin Ole Miss tenure for me has been that they're able to overwhelm all the teams that they're better than, but when they go up against Alabama, when they go up against Georgia, they just end up finding themselves outclassed. And so when they got that win against the Bulldogs in the pouring rain at home, I mean, that was a landmark moment. But the problem is, in the very same season, you lost to Kentucky, which was just one of the worst teams in the Southeastern Conference. And so one step forward, you took down a big dog. One step back, you got beaten by a team you should have never even come close to losing to. Ultimately, big picture, I do think Lane Kiffin has this program moving in the right direction. He continues to build New Year's Six appearance off of New Year's Six appearance, knocking on the door of the playoff a year ago. If they don't have that Kentucky loss, if they win that game even by a single point, they are in the college football playoff. So avoid that kind of devastating defeat and keep moving in the right direction, and Ole Miss can be in that position.
Okay, they can be in that position, and their schedule is, I think we consider it manageable when it comes to the SEC. Look, you're playing in the SEC, it's just hard. But do they make the playoff? What is your schedule prediction, Chip Patterson?
I've got them at 9-3 in the regular season once again. And as I go through this schedule, I am able to just start to fill in only a few losses first. I've got the loss against Georgia, where I think Georgia's able to get some revenge. I think that LSU Ole Miss game is as coin flippy as they come, just because those games have been so bananas and unpredictable over the years. But then here's the big one, Amanda, and I sent this in. I had no clue we'd be doing this together. But I think that Oklahoma is going to be a tricky spot when SEC teams have to go to Norman. I like the offseason changes that the Sooners have, and then I think that they close it out. South Carolina, Florida, and of course the Egg Bowl, even being on the road, I think they get back on the right foot. But that LSU, Georgia, Oklahoma run, I've got them starting hot, sputtering in the middle, finishing strong, but unfortunately with my 9-3, not enough quality wins to get an at-large bid.
When I tell you I gasped when I saw that loss against Oklahoma. I mean, I know you guys heard it. I apologize, but I think you know why. I don't know if we've done, James, our producer, have we done the Sooners yet? Have we done a deep dive into them? Not yet. All right, I'm going to make sure I'm on air for that. Tyler, Chip, we appreciate it. Have an awesome weekend, you guys. We'll talk to you soon. You can hear more from them on the Cover 3 podcast. It's summer school right now, so what they do for that is they go through a lot of different of the universities and the schools and do a breakdown there. Also, they talk about who does have the toughest schedule in college football. To find out that answer, you got to listen.